We live in the golden age of remakes, in my opinion, where you get a studio like Bluepoint doing some of the most faithful and incredible updates to games. Period. It is the golden age where everybody's talking about, well, what can we remake this, and how about we remake that? And one that gets thrown around a lot is Metal Gear Solid 1. Why not remake Metal Gear Solid 1? It's an old PSX game. Like, let's just do this. And I disagree. Sure, to remake it would be great. Like, it'd be fun to have more Metal Gear in my life. But I've played Metal Gear Solid, and I've played Silent Hill. Metal Gear Solid is today a fun video game. It has problems that, could be updated, but it is a fun, fully playable video game that I would recommend to a vast quantity of people because it holds up. Many of its aspects hold up today. I think a lot of it's the layout of the game, the perspective, the way certain puzzles and items work and things like that. It just works. Silent Hill 1 fundamentally does not work today. It is not a game I'd recommend to almost any human being in its current state.
I definitely wouldn't.
But it has all those ideas. The school, because another huge issue I have with the game is its pacing. These internal areas are just massive and really long and winding and maze-like. You could wander for hours without a guide. Just hours. And then you come out and do a little short section of Silent Hill, and then you go to this other really long, dense section. And it's just not... The pacing is not there. But the school's puzzles, like getting through those puzzles and finding those like little riddles here and the... stumbling across the three notes in the front office that'll tell you kind of what you're supposed to be doing, what you're supposed to be looking for, and searching for those and trying to survive in that space. That's really good. It's a fun loop. I really like it. It just needs some tweaking. Mm-hmm. It needs a
lot of tweaking.
So I think it's far more deserving of a remake than something like Metal Gear Solid.
I haven't played Metal Gear Solid, but I definitely think that you're right. This needs a remake. I can't think of anything that needs a remake more than this.
Yeah, because...
like Myst, we don't need another version of Myst.
I can play the classic Myst and have the same
I would still go with
experience.
the first remake, which came out soon after, the Masterpiece Edition.
Oh, yeah.
And then the one that mixed features from the original and the remake to make real Myst Masterpiece Edition. That's the one. That's the one. Not whatever they have now. That just looks bad. I don't think the remake looks good at all. Anyway... I think the reason why people typically say that or don't immediately go for Silent Hill when we're talking about needed remakes is because there aren't many people like you and I that are playing it for the first time. I don't like Silent Hill. I would like to see... I'm not going to play it. I would like to... I'd be interested in a remake. You, however, you're able to dig deep. You have way more patience than most people and see what could be if this game were presented with some modern updates. You're able to see that. Most people that talk about Silent Hill have already played Silent Hill. They grew up with Silent Hill and see... Well, not only do they see past that, but playing it when it came out, you didn't have the... not foresight, but the hindsight to know that that's pretty bad. So it was good when it came out.
And I bet you it's the same people who are replaying Metal Gear Solid so frequently that it's always there at the top of their mind. Like, we should get a remake of this game.
Yeah, so those people already talk about Silent Hill as it is so fondly. It just doesn't really cross their minds.
I think that's fair. I totally understand that. And I think, though, if I was to ask Konami to remake anything, this is it. For sure. And here's what I have here on my notes. I say, what makes a game deserve a remake? Right? And I wrote a little sentence here. Something, very vague on purpose, something holds it back from being as great as it once was or could be. Mechanics, visuals, controls, availability, etc. i.e., it had to be great in some way originally. Mm-hmm. Right? So what is that? So I have it here. What to keep? Large maze-like spaces. That visual heart. You can't just make it this modern generic horror. You can't do the Silent Hill movie version of those monsters.
Which I'd actually really like to watch.
I tried to get Amanda to watch it with me, actually.
Yeah. I was hoping I'd have time to watch it. I've seen it many times actually.
Oh, really?
I
never
used to
seen it.
love it.
I've never seen
yeah,
it.
we should watch it then.
Let's
we should
do
watch it sometime soon.
Keep it vague. We talked about that earlier. I actually say maybe keep the bad voice acting.
I don't know.
That's why I said maybe.
Immediately see the argument. I definitely get it. But especially with what you're talking about at the end of Silent Hill 2, which you'll get to, maybe that's not a great idea. If some of those scenes are intended to be
Silent Hill 2
heavy-hitting
did
emotional scenes.
Silent Hill 2 did it.
Yeah.
With that
Troy
voice
Baker.
cast.
Yeah.
No. I played the original.
Oh, wait. I see. Yeah, I thought you meant they did remake it.
No. They did sell those moments.
Yeah, but those would be even better without...
I don't know.
You're right.
I don't know.
I'll retract that statement. They could be.
Yeah.
Because I haven't heard them, I haven't seen them, so I don't know.
I said, though, if you do bad voice acting again, you need to be a little tongue-in-cheek about it.
Yeah. Going back to Twin Peaks. Twin Peaks is stupid. Twin Peaks is so dumb a lot of the time.
It's really melodramatic.
It's stupid soap opera stuff.
Yeah.
Like I forget the cop's name, the silly cop, Andy, that
Oh my gosh,
when
Andy.
he steps through the porch and the board hits him in the face and he's stunned basically, and he's just fumbling around like this for 3 minutes.
It's incredible.
It's so dumb.
It's the greatest.
And then when Nadine gets the patch and becomes a schoolgirl, literally goes back to high school and hooks up with a high school student. They're just so dumb.
It's brilliant.
None of the acting, well, because that is intentional, I won't say the acting is bad, because it's supposed to come across that way, and it works. But
it's a very fine line. It's so delicate, though.
Yes.
Twin Peaks is one of the most delicate tightropes, I think, of anything, between that really stupid melodramatic soap opera and one of the most, dark, reflective, for lack of a better term, psychological. It
is a fine line because all of that stuff is happening around the supporting or with the supporting cast. You don't get that from Agent Cooper. You don't get it from Audrey or what's his name? Nadine's husband.
I don't know. Audrey has some moments.
I don't think so.
Yeah, it's like when she, especially near the beginning when she's the femme fatale kind of thing. It does get
but you don't get any of the crazy over the top acting. You get silly lines like when they talk about Audrey comes in to meet Dale Cooper for the first time, and he's asking for breakfast. He's ordering breakfast, and he sees Audrey and says, "And melons." It's dumb, but it's not delivered that way. They're cheesy lines, but you don't get that sort of over-the-top acting with those people. The more like important
core
cast, the core cast, or I forget the trucker's wife's name. She gets beat all the time.
I always forget her name.
Yeah, I forget her name also.
It's been a while since I've watched that show.
Yeah, it's been a little too long for me.
Okay, I get that.
So there would need to be a fine line. I wonder how the HD remake balances that with Troy Baker, because obviously nobody else delivers, like Troy Baker does in that remake cast, or the HD remaster. So I wonder if you'd be able to strike that.
I don't know.
Careful of a balance.
I think
I'd want to
really
lean
difficult
in one direction entirely, because I don't think most people are capable of.
Yeah, that's fair.
Of doing it like that.
I think though one other thing, talking about kind of that campiness, I guess, is maybe keep a weird porcelain style for the cutscenes. Like maybe not go full, realistic. Maybe leave it a little bit off. In those
that would
scenes.
never happen.
No, but I mean, I'm talking about, this is like perfect world, right? I think that would be the strongest choice, because those cutscenes, man.
Yeah, they're old,
but they're good.
I like them a lot.
Compare that to any other PlayStation 1 cutscene. I think of Tekken. Like that weird, like they look so bad.
Anything from Square is incredible.
Sure.
Chrono Cross, Final Fantasy VIII.
That's
Those are awesome.
I think Silent Hill's pretty close though.
Yeah. Oh, I'm not saying it isn't. I'm saying there's plenty that is good. There's plenty that's bad.
Yeah.
But
But from such a small team, did you know one person did every single cutscene? A single person.
What does that mean exactly?
They
animated, modeled. What does that mean?
Whatever it takes to make a cutscene, they did it by themselves.
I would like to hear more about that.
Okay, yeah, I'll send you the article. I'd be happy to be wrong.
Like if one dude modeled all of it, or one person animated all of it, that would make more sense. But just everything in the cutscene, that's a lot of work.
Yeah.
Now there aren't many cutscenes.
No, and they're very short.
Yeah.
And it'll cut out of the cutscene to just normal talking in engine.
To the point where I don't even know why the cutscenes are there.
Yeah, they look great.
Yeah, but they're so infrequent and so short. Like Silent Hill 2. The ones in Silent Hill 2 are so incredibly short. Like you see, I don't remember the kid's name, but you see him puking in the toilet.
Eddie.
Yeah, so you open the door,
God, I hate Eddie.
and the door opens and starts the cutscene. You see Eddie puking for like 3 seconds, and then it cuts back to gameplay, and you're talking to Eddie while he's there on the floor puking.
Yeah, Eddie's I think, the most interesting character in the game. I think he's got a really simple arc, but it's honestly pretty human, that kind of self-disgust leading into acceptance. Anyway, it's great. We need to finish talking about Silent Hill 1. Obviously, you can tell we both like Silent Hill 2 way more.
Yes, I'm actually mad at myself for not being able to finish it. I want to go back and play it, but we run a pretty tight schedule, so it's immediately on to the next games.
So what to remake is the last thing I want to wrap up with. Controls, obviously. The menu, boss encounters, and then I think one of the most important aspects of remakes, availability. Make it available on modern platforms.
Of course.
I think that's probably the most important thing about a remake is, hey, everybody can play it now.